Hello lovely people, and welcome back to this week's new video. Surprise surprise, I'm doing a December TBR after I said I never do TBRs. If you're new here, hello, my name is Noah. I'm a bookish and lifestyle vlogger born and raised and still based in New York City. If that sounds like of any interest to you, I would absolutely love it if you would stick around until the end and subscribe if you so please. So far when I'm filming this, I have read 190 books and I have surpassed my goal of 150 books for the year, but my unofficial goal is to read 200. Which means I have to read at least 10 books in December to get to that point. I also have books that I want to read before the end of the year that aren't on this TBR, so if you want to know what those are, you can check out my end of the year book tag, I think. But before we begin, I did want to update you on what I read in November. Just a quick little recap. I have 10 books here read, 9 of which I have completed. I'm in the middle of one right now, and 1 DNF. So let's flip to the back of my bullet journal. I started off the month reading The Stranger by Harlan Coben, and I gave that 4 stars. I believe I vlogged this experience too. I'll leave that down below if you're interested. I read The Existence of Amy by Lana Grace Riva. The author kindly sent me a copy of her book, and I gave that 3.5 stars. Then I have that here. Haha, I gave that 3.5 stars. Next up, I read The Night Swim, my August book of the month pick. I gave this 4 stars. It was a book right up my alley of following a true crime podcast. Lots of trigger warnings for sexual assault and bullying and stuff like that, so be mindful of that. I read Lovely War by Julie Berry for my Smash or Pass video for Haley's favorite videos, which I will also link if you haven't seen. Surprised by this a lot. I gave this 4.5 stars. It had been a while since I read historical fiction and I loved this. Then a long-awaited book, Ninth House. This was a book that I wanted to finish before the end of the year as well, because I picked this for my November 2019 book of the month pick, and this was a bit disappointing and I gave it 2.5 stars. I also read The Book Thief for Haley's favorite books, and I also gave this 2.5 stars. Again, for Haley's video, I read Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll, and I gave that 5 stars. It was a reread for me. The Only Good Indians, which I actually finished yesterday. I read this for the Literally Dead book club. Disappointing, was confused the whole fucking time. I'm waiting for the live show to help clarify my thoughts, but I was confused, so I'm giving this 2 stars. Books that I DNF and stuff, I give 1 stars because I actually finished it, so I can't possibly give it 1 star is my logic, but yeah. The last book that I read was an audiobook. It had been a while since I read an audiobook, but it was One Dance with the Duke by Tessa Dare, the first book in the Stead Club trilogy, and I gave that 3 stars. It reminded me of how much I missed adult romance and smutty books, and I'm really glad because Smutathon is happening this month as well, hosted by Ginger Reads Laney and Riley Marie, so I can't wait for that. So I obviously haven't prepared for that because the prompts are not out yet when I'm filming this. We might have to add more books to the list, obviously. And then the one book that I DNF'd is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, which I borrowed from the library because I wanted to watch the movie, but then I later heard that the movie is not that good, like I should skip it. Let me know if that's what you think too. But this was also written in like the 30s and the writing was just so old and I couldn't get into it, and I felt like it was gonna put me back in a reading slump, so I DNF'd this. Oh my god, I have like a stack of books at my feet now. Okay. I also forgot to mention that the book that I'm currently reading that I started at the beginning of November is A Feast for Crows, book 4 in the A Song of Ice and Fire series. Hopefully if I read 100 pages a day, I can be finished by the first week of December, and that's the plan. Now getting into my December TBR, I of course have my notes. I have 9 books to talk to you about today. The first book is really festive, as you can see. I realized I don't own many green clothing. I have like a darker green turtleneck, but like that's it. But anyway, it's Royal Holiday by Jasmine Guillory. This is book 4 in the Wedding Date series, and it was published last year, but I got it this year because it came out in paperback recently, and then I just wanted to wait until the holiday season to read it, so obviously here we are in December. This is following Vivian, who is Maddie's mom from book 3. Maddie was hired by a member of the royal family to be a stylist, and so Vivian decides to tag along on her daughter's work trip to England, and there she meets Malcolm, a private secretary of the royal family. Now Malcolm has never given a private tour before during the time that he's been working for the royal family until he met Vivian. He is absolutely infatuated with her. He finds her so intriguing. He just keeps on finding excuses to be with her. Obviously they're both very attracted to each other and they're having a lot of fun, but reality kind of sets in when, you know, they realize Vivian has to go back to the States one day. Is this just going to be a holiday romance for them, or is this going to be something more. Maybe I can fit this in for Smutathon, although Jasmine Guillory books aren't that smutty, so we'll see. But I think this would be really great, like a holiday romance, and I have been wanting to get back into romance. I think it'll be really good to get out of my semi-reading slump. I feel like I had gotten out of it and then I sort of slumped back into it mid-November, so hopefully this will help with that. I'm so thirsty, but I don't want to drink anything and get my lipstick on stuff. I haven't been wearing lipstick in quarantine at all, and I was like, hey, why not for this video look festive? And I'm fucking thirsty. The next book I've been talking about for like way too long, so I feel like I'm not even gonna annoy you with a synopsis at this point, and it's Spanish in Half by Britt Bennett. I have talked about this so many times and I do want to read it. My friend already read it last month, and so I need to get on top of this. The next book I'm excited for, I bought it last year in like a giant Barnes & Noble haul, but I want to get to it because the second book in the duology is coming out in March, and that's King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo. If you saw my Instagram post for it, doing related to this video, I did peel off the stickers. I just put a hair dryer on high, let it run over the stickers, and it peels off super easily, no marks, nothing. This is a signed copy that I got last year. I'm really excited because I did catch up with the books in the Grishaverse because I read those I think also last year, and then for another Smash or Pass video for Hannah I did read Six of Crows and then later Crooked Kingdom. So I can't wait to read this because Rule of Wolves is coming out in March, so I definitely have pre-ordered that already. I don't really know anything about what this is about except that it's following Nikolai. He's now the king and he's just trying to get control of his new kingdom, and I just love this cover. I wish that the inside was a little bit, ooh, just kidding, it looks great. I have all different genres here, perfect. The next book also is sort of festive, I guess. I really loved the movie. My family and I actually went to go see it on Christmas Day last year, and that is Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. But I got the movie tie-in edition. It includes photos from the movie inside, and it looks like the edition that's being printed in the movie. This is the Greta Gerwig edition, the movie, Greta Gerwig directed movie that I really enjoyed. I haven't seen any of the other ones, but I do want to watch the one with Christian Bale and Winona Ryder. I've actually read this book many times, but I've just never finished it. I always borrowed it from the library when I was, I think, in grade school or maybe middle school, and I was determined to finish it, but the book was so chunky for me that I kept having to renew it, and at some point I couldn't renew it and I kind of gave up. So I've never finished it, and I wish I did before watching the movie because I really loved it. This is following four sisters, the March sisters, during like the Civil War era in America. Jo March is our main character. It's loosely based around Louisa May Alcott's actual life, I believe. I hope that I can finally get to this, and it has many beautiful editions, so if this becomes a favorite of mine, I might just end up buying multiple editions. But I really love this. Maybe I can find a good photo to show you. Like, look, there's Emma Watson playing Meg. I think that's really cute. My next two books are actually related to a video that I'm going to be uploading hopefully in January at least. The first one is The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. This is obviously a thriller. I think it's a domestic thriller. Okay, it's a psychological thriller following a woman named Alicia who shot her husband in the face 5 times and then never spoke again. So she becomes known as the Silent Patient. A criminal psychotherapist named Theo is determined to get her to talk and figure out what went on in her mind and why she committed this heinous act. I can't wait to get to this for the video. And then the next book that I have for that also is What Lies Between Us by John Mars. If you can figure out who it is from these two, that'd be pretty awesome. One of the other books is one of her favorites, but I'm not doing it for that. But this is also a thriller. Maggie and Nina live together, so cute, except at the end of the day, Nina takes Maggie up to the attic where she keeps her chained up because Maggie did something that Nina cannot forgive. But Maggie also actually has secrets of her own that she knows that she can never reveal to Nina because sometimes the truth is more dangerous than the lies being told. This sounds like an amazing thriller, my favorite genre, so hopefully I will really enjoy these. The next book I'm really excited about because I found it in my little free library. I've been actually finding pretty good reads there, and that's Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney. Normal People is one of my favorite books of 2020, and Sally Rooney is the author of that, and I think it's interesting because some people who have read both normal people and conversations with friends say that they enjoy this book better. So I'm interested to see what my thoughts are going to be, because I really loved the book. Read it twice this year already, and I really love the TV series. Anyway, this is following these two friends. Frances is 21. They're both in college. Frances is 21 and she's an aspiring writer, and then her best friend Bobby is self-possessed and absolutely gorgeous, and they both perform spoken word poetry in Dublin, and that is where a journalist named Melissa kind of discovers them and realizes their potential. These two friends strike up a friendship with Melissa and her husband. So it's about two college students becoming friends with a married couple. It says Frances and Nick, the husband, get unexpectedly closer. The sharply witty and emotion-averse Frances is forced to honestly confront her own vulnerabilities for the first time. I really did love Normal People so much for the people. It's very character driven. I know some people hate it because there's like not really any plot and they kind of just like are mad about the characters, but I really loved them. So hopefully I'll have good thoughts about this book as well. My next book I like kind of forgot about when I was writing up my TBR, but I realized that I did need to get to it because it was my November book of the month pick, but it seemed more perfect to read it in December because it is a holiday book. To me, it seems. So this is This Time Next Year. This is a romance book by Sophie Cousins, and I don't know if this will fit for Smotathon, but it definitely is a romance, and it's about like fate and whether or not you're meant to be. So it's following Minnie and Quinn. Their mothers gave birth to them at the same hospital just after midnight on New Year's Day, but Quinn was given the cash prize for being the first baby born in London in 1990, and the name Minnie was meant to have as well. With luck like that, it's no wonder each of her birthdays has been more of a disaster than the one before. When Minnie unexpectedly runs into Quinn at a New Year's party on their mutual 30th birthday, she sees only more evidence that fortune has continued to favor him. The gorgeous, charming business owner truly seems to have it all, while Minnie is on the brink of losing her pie-making company and her home. But if Quinn and Minnie are from different worlds, why do they keep bumping into each other? And why is it that each fraught encounter leaves them both wanting more? So this felt like more like a holiday book, which is why I didn't get to it in November. It gives me a little bit One Day in December vibes, which was a book that I thoroughly enjoyed last year. I wish I logged it because I cried so much and I loved it so much. Wow. So I hope it gives me the same vibes as that. My last book hasn't arrived yet, but it's my December book of the month pick, and it is The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins. And if that author name sounds familiar, it did to me too, and it's because she is the author of the YA series Royals, which I read this year also. But this is actually an adult book, so it is a gothic domestic suspense. Jane is a dog walker in a gated community for the uber rich, like the type where you might steal something and they won't even notice or care. And then she meets Eddie in this community, who is a recent widower. His wife and her best friend died in a boating accident and their bodies were never recovered. But Jane really loves Eddie. He's the kind of guy that she's looking for, but she can't help but feel haunted by the idea of his late wife. And that actually gives me a lot of Rebecca vibes, but hopefully because it's modern and it's being published this year, I might enjoy it more. A lot of thrillers, but like, you know, who's surprised? If you are reading any of the same books that I am, that'd be hilarious. I always say that. But let me know if you have read these books and what you thought of them and what you might be reading for December. Let me know of any holiday books that you are reading to get yourself into the season, whether or not you celebrate Christmas. Thank you all so much for watching. Please give this video a big thumbs up and I will see you all next time. Bye!